Hey guys, welcome back to a bullet journal setup. I know it's like almost mid-May, but there's so many reasons why I have not started to set up a bullet journal, and I will explain that on this video. But for now, I am just laying out some of the materials and stationery and supplies that I currently have here at home, and we're going to be journaling about May. Since it's been like 2 months since the whole quarantine thing started and this pandemic, I actually have decided to tone down some of the pages in this bullet journal because honestly, I don't know if it's still feasible to put down these spreads and basically decorate them if I'm not gonna use them. So yeah, let's start with, of course, a quick intro page. I decided to do some sort of like pastel-y nature themed vibe, if that makes sense. I also have these Papermate pastel colored pens that I've gotten like a couple months back, and I really like using them for my journals, so that's why I'm using them right here. And I'm starting off with a very serif style font that's a bit more whimsical and a bit more, I guess, in line with the whole theme that I was going for. Okay, so if you noticed, my hands actually have a lot of allergies, so I'm sorry if it makes you uncomfortable, but I have eczema, and it's something that I acquired because I am put under a lot of stress, and apart from that, it's also summer here in the Philippines, so that's why my hands are not really cooperating. And honestly, I've had such a hard time doing this and like figuring out how I could still film with my not very photogenic hands. Growing up, I really have not been really like credible in terms of having like really neat hands and fingernails and stuff. So yeah, let's just get that out of the way. And yeah, okay, some quick updates. Honestly, I've been really burnt out since mid-April, since after a month of the lockdown, because I feel like I've been churning out too much content, and as much as I enjoy it, there are just some days that I just don't have the energy to do it. That's why I decided to take a couple weeks off of Instagram, and I actually deleted my YouTube studio on my phone because it was really stressing me out, like having to manage a lot of things apart from already the job that I have, which is managing the shop, doing marketing. And I had previously worked also on a book project, but I will talk more about that soon. But a lot of plans have definitely changed since the whole quarantine started, and I am pretty uncertain about everything at this point. So let's just go on and make some nice journal spreads. So actually, these stationery and stickers that you see here, they're actually for my future entries, and actually some of them were supposed to be for goodie bags for the shop, but again, the shop is closed, so I'm just heading on to decorate with these elements. And it's interesting because if you have followed most of my journaling adventures, does that make sense? Journaling adventures? My journaling in general, I don't really dabble with a lot of pastel colored elements, mostly because it's just out of personal preference that I really like earth tone colors and retro colors, and that's basically it. But I do have some sort of liking to pastel in general, and what I like to do is, instead of just keeping it to like blues and pinks, I add some yellows, I add some warm colors to make it still have this vibe of what my personal preferences are. So I'm just heading out and making some sort of composition, trying to make a composition with this cover page. I think if you watch my previous bullet journal videos, I might have mentioned somewhere that I don't really plan a lot of my pages. I just know the colors, I just know some of the stickers. I actually have bundled up all these stickers that have the same color scheme the earlier, I think last month, and it's been really helpful because from there you're able to build up a color scheme, you're able to build up the composition, the patterns that come with it. So yeah, I'm just adding also, I used a very neutral ink pad color because I didn't want everything to be too bright, and because I felt like it lacked a bit more of like elements, I'm using my mild liner brush pen, which is generally one of my new favorites so far, and I'm just adding some patterns and different random shapes just so it sort of mashes up as a whole. I don't even know if it makes sense, but I think it does. Kinda. Well, let's see how things turn out. But I noticed I have a lot of these themed stationery with this color scheme, so it was nice to finally whip them out for this particular theme. So that is the very simple cover, and this is just me being extra and adding a lot of different elements. I think that's very me. So yeah, there you go. Now let's move on over to the first spread. I'm actually doing 2 spreads and the cover page. So with a lot of the previous bullet journal videos, I did have a very concrete like goals page, monthly overview. But since I'm starting already, I'm recording this audio at like May 11th, which is also the day that this will be published. I filmed this yesterday, so it's almost like a week since May started, and I don't really have a lot of videos planned, but they're all already on my radar for the past couple of months. So I decided to go ahead and make, of course I still did the content ideas for May, which you are seeing right here on the left side. I'm just going to go ahead and make a list. I think apart from all of the other types of spreads I've done, this content ideas table is still very useful because it's just a free-flowing page of ideas and relevant stuff that I feel it's really important for me to catalog and file, not only on my Google Docs or Excel sheet, but also here, because when I look back on this bullet journal that I'm currently using, it will be nice to see how my ideas have sort of progressed from day one, for month 1 per se, and up to the end of this year. So we'll see how that goes. I also can't believe I'm using these really old Band-Aid stickers. They are a lot actually, and this sticker sheet that you see here, it's yeah, I made this early this year. I was supposed to make more, but again, we're on lockdown, so just loosely writing my content ideas and also some key topics. If you are a creator, it's really important to have key topics so you don't get lost in all of the sea of ideas that you have. So of course mine is also very much obvious that it's journaling and hand lettering and maybe some home related stuff. On the opposite page, I am doing a list. I believe some people who do bullet journal have this every start of the month, so I kind of adapted that idea, but instead of making like some people write birthdays, important dates and stuff, mine is all related to the videos that I will post and maybe some content. I don't know. My whole idea lately about Instagram is not really planning too much ahead. I just know some days have to be like announcements and stuff, but generally everything else is quite like spur of the moment. I think that's also me trying to prevent being too over analytical about all the things that go into social media. It's so hard to differentiate yourself because this is my job, and a part of it really involves a lot of, you know, perfectionism because I am that person, and also I'm very obviously a true blue Capricorn, and I think that really reflects in my work ethic. So yeah, I decided to make this page instead of a monthly overview because we're already like 11 days since May started, and I didn't want to create a full month because I also realized I don't use some of the boxes, so I decided to just make this list style. And I think it's going to be helpful for me because it's sort of like a May at a glance kind of thing. And it's sort of a tracker. I don't know if it's like a tracker, but it helps me track like which days are the weekends, which days do I have to post my letter with ABC videos, which is always every Friday. And also some general ideas. Also, I should also be able to figure out from here, maybe I have to revisit it every couple of days as to when my filming schedule goes and also my editing schedule. But generally, I don't know when I film and edit. I just do it sometimes, like all in a day's work. It really depends on my energy, and I'm not a full-time YouTuber, so I think it's really important for me to have these dates so I know which days have to be important and which days have to be for other things. So moving on to the last spread, quick backstory, I actually had stained that area, that's why I covered it up. But yeah, this is going to be a recap page, which I think is very important because I always like having a recap page and sort of collating all the important things that happened in a month. I did not proceed to do anything related to the shop campaigns and the expenses because I don't really have a lot of expenses right now. But the shop thing also, I don't really have a lot on my plate right now. I am planning to do online classes, but that's basically it. So I didn't really want to put that here. I think it's really important just to have the insights, recap, and of course social media updates, and you know, what type of content people like, what type of content I enjoyed filming, and what I tried. Here on the opposite page, I am just, I don't know, this whole idea of like creating a monotonous page sort of came into me. It was like, what if I do everything in blue? I think that'd be interesting. Maybe I should do that for my next bullet journal video, or maybe for a future theme journal spread. Let me know if it's something you're interested in. I think it's also nice to, you know, be able to test your skills in terms of color and be able to combine different elements that sort of make up a whole and have this really nice color scheme. So I really like this blue. I'm not really, again, I mentioned like I'm not into pastel, but it's really nice to see all of these things come together and they still sort of work. So on the right side, instead of just, you know, leaving it with like some stickers and stuff, I decided to plot out some ideas for the next month. Of course, this is really hard to predict because I actually don't know what's gonna happen in the next few months. I'm pretty sure I'm still gonna stay home. I hope you guys still stay home as well, because I don't think it's safe enough to go out yet. But yeah, I'm just heading on to decorate this part of the spread and, you know, adding a few more elements to sort of jazz up the whole area. Actually, I ended up not using a lot of green, which is very interesting. This vibe, this theme also reminds me of the one I did in February. I will link it up there on the card if you want to click on it and see how it looks like. But I think that one was like red and blue. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I'm just briefly writing out my plans for next month. I'm actually in love with this whole blue, green, teal, gray, light blue color scheme, which is something I'm doing on the right side. It's a nice, cool transition from the usual ones I make. So here are some of my plans for next month, and I'm just heading on to stick some stickers. And yeah, basically this is the final product. So this is the cover page, the first spread, and the second spread. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye!